America's welcoming refugees with open arms and free education. But apparently that's not good enough. 6 refugees at the Phoenix Academy, that's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, are suing the school district because they feel that they deserve the very best education. The angry students claim they were dumped at a school for underachieving students and should be transferred to a school with better academic program. The school district says the lawsuit has no merit, but do these students have a case? To debate this, let's bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor David Bruno and defense attorney Kisha Hebbon. Nice to see both of you this morning.
Nice to see you too.
I mean, when I first read the story, I said they've got to be joking. But at the heart of it, there's actually legal merit to this case, Kisha?
Absolutely, because although they're refugees, they should have the same type of classification as regular students have in that district. So they're dumped in an alternative school, where they're children with behavioral problems. They have to be pat down every day to get into school. They should not be subjected to that if they don't have those same issues.
But they just came from war-torn Syria. So they're coming to a school, they're getting a free education in this community of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, not the most affluent community, David, and they're having on the backs of taxpayers. I just find it hard to believe that they have a legal case, that they can actually bring this. They're being backed by the ACLU, by the way, right?
I found it hard to believe as well. I mean, that was my initial reaction. But let's not forget about the overall immigration policy that is worthy of this discussion, because we are accepting these refugees, and the first point always made is on national security. But let's not forget the negative impact that this has on our local governments, our school boards, because these students do not speak English. They are trying to accommodate the best they can to give them the translation services and the modifications to the curriculum to accommodate these individuals.
But even a regular high school would have ESL classes, and again, they should not receive substandard education. Once we accept them as refugees, we need to give them the same opportunities as other students have.
So it's interesting, I found this interesting, that they're 17 to 21 years old. So most of the kids obviously go to high school. They're there until maybe they're 17 or 18, and they're off to college or some other trade. These kids are 17 and 21. And here's a statement from the ACLU representing these refugees. Our clients have already experienced much trauma and loss before arriving in this country. Rather than helping them make the difficult adjustment, the school district has denied them an education completely or forced them into an alternative school where they're often bullied and don't learn. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I make that they're sympathetic individuals, and the ACLU is taking advantage of that. This school board has provided a free education, and that is the right that the students have. And they've provided it in a school that is able to give them services, period.
What about this community? You know, this community stood up and said, we'll take these refugees in. And so now they can get sued?
Well, if they're not giving them what they're entitled to, if they're violating their rights as human beings and stating, okay, just because you're a refugee, you have to go to an alternative school where you have nothing to do with the issues designed for that school.
But I'm curious about the legal, I mean, I guess I don't understand, if not an American citizen, what legal rights do they have?
Well, they're not citizens, but they're still entitled to certain things. We can't say we'll take you in and treat you like you're crap. You have to still treat them like human beings, and they need to be classified just like other students
Is she right?
are.
Yeah, make no question about it. Even as refugees, non-citizens, they are entitled to a free public education. And that's the state and federal laws. You know, and an additional point that's interesting is that even in this lawsuit, the plaintiffs are saying that the school that they want to go to is not properly equipped to handle their services. They want interpreters. They want modifications to the curriculum. They want changes that are ultimately going to be in the taxpayers'
What's just amazing, because,
responsibility.
you know, our schools are suffering as it is. Teachers don't get paid enough, and now we need interpreters to handle Syrian refugees. I mean, look, we all have a big heart and want to help these children because it's horrible what's happening there. But at the end of the day, American taxpayers footing the bill for this. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, coming up.